What's up, everybody? Welcome to Small Business StandUp, where we got some great entrepreneurs here. We talk a little bit about life, business, lifestyle, and all the other good stuff. So let's set the tone, man. How was you guys' weekend?
Great.
Couldn't be better.
Anything spectacular happen? Any deals closed?
Well, Jay, you know what our spectacular thing is, so
yes,
we good on that one.
Yeah, man, I'm excited too, Jason. I'm excited about that, man. I was thinking about it all day today too, man. So,
Oh yeah.
so big announcements coming soon, hopefully, right? So, well, it's good to see everybody in good health, man, and ready to get some of these good questions, and let's talk business, man. Let's talk business. So, all right, so I'm gonna set the tone, man. This is what we're gonna do here. So, how important is marketing to your business? How important is that?
It is the most important. If you don't have, okay, so you've got what, 5 steps to a business, right? And the first step of any business is to always locate prospects. And that's part of the marketing. Without prospects, without people to offer your product or services to, you have no business. And first you have to find those people in order to be able to get them in. And so you can't even offer them the service if you're not marketing to them, right? If you even look at some of the streaming videos or TV at any point, right, you will know who that name brand is without even looking at the television. That's how important marketing is, so that you're that household name to bring the business in. Yeah. Name a jingle, somebody will tell you who the company is.
Yeah. Say milk does a body. You can
Good.
fix it, right?
See?
You know what I'm saying? It's
right?
very effective. That's so true.
I think I agree. Marketing is definitely important, but I feel like there's all aspects of marketing, right? There's like so many variations of it. Understanding who your niche population is, who you're going to service, how you're going to service them. Is it going to be on an online platform, offline? And I think it can definitely accelerate your business when you understand the dynamics of it. Yes. And when I meet with my marketer, because I've hired 2 now, it's sometimes a challenge, right? Because I'm like, oh, well, why we got to do this? Well, Sheila, you need to do this and this. So I think it's important, but it's also important to be open-minded to marketing avenues and what may be better for your business.
Good point. Yeah. Good point. What do you guys think?
Oh,
so how important
I'm in
is marketing?
agreement. And I like what Sheila just said too, as far as knowing who your niche market is. There's no way, if I'm trying to market to a specific age group, right? You want to have an avatar of who you're marketing to. I'm trying to market to a specific age group, but I'm doing it on TikTok, right? Well, if my age group is not in TikTok, I'm not marketing correctly. I'm not marketing to the individuals who could benefit from my product or service.
Yeah,
absolutely. I always see marketing as, accuracy, a bullseye. So you can be accurate but not precise. And I think that's what I hear you saying, right? Like on a bullseye, you can throw the arrow and you're accurate because all of your darts are hitting the same spot, right? But you're not precise because you're not hitting the bullseye. Right. And so a lot of times we can be accurate in our delivery and what we're trying to do, but we're not precise because we don't have that avatar. We don't have the right person in mind that needs to, hear our services or want our services or deliver our services.
Right. Who's your audience?
Yeah.
Yes. So and being okay with that's who your audience is, because sometimes you could feel like my audience is, young people, and this is where data comes in marketing. But I noticed that only 40-year-olds watch my stuff. Okay, well, you got to make the shift to the 40-year-olds, right? To get more precise. And I know you want to help these 27-year-olds, but they just like they're not trying to buy your product or hear about what you're trying to say, this is the person that's hearing it. So shift it so you can be more precise.
Split testing it to find out. I mean,
Yes.
you've got, like you said, you're shooting at the target, right? But are we aiming to the left, the right, up, or down? What are we aiming at? What are we aiming for?
Yes.
To bring that particular market into us. And if
Yeah.
we're not doing it, then like you said, we're pretty much shooting blanks. We're not hitting the bullseye. You know, we're hitting the outside rings, but our business could be a whole lot more. In the military, when we would go to the shooting range, we say we need to get that grouping tight, right? So if you shoot 3, we want to get those 3 as tight as possible, and then you know that you're doing something right. And you've got to split test them all, whether it be SMS, postcards, cold calling. You've got to hit them all and then determine, well, which one is the best for what I'm actually doing.
Right.
And then get the feedback from the customers that you are bringing in. How did I, right? What was the reason why you decided to go with us? Because there's several. So why did you go with us? And you continue to build up on that and bring those into your company.
Yeah.
And they become repeat customers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we all know that it costs, it costs way more to bring in a new customer than it does to retain the customers that you have. And I think that's another thing that we do as entrepreneurs, right? We want the new client, but it's like, how are you taking and marketing to your current, you know, individuals who have invested in you, who have said yes to you, right? I feel like that sometimes with Spectrum, when they give out new stuff to new people, like, you need to get something to me because I done said yes.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel that way too. It's funny. I got a product we getting ready to roll out, and my daughter was saying the exact same thing. What about the people who's been with you all this time? What they gonna get? I'm like, wow. I didn't really think about it like that. I'm just trying to. I'm so much. I really want to get some more people in, and forgot about the people that's already rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch that. But yeah, so marketing is the lifeline of your business. You can have the greatest product, but if nobody knows you have it, you out of business.
right.
You out of business.
Right.
Simple as that. So you have to, like when I first got into business or whatever, all I knew was Facebook. So that's the older crowd that has Facebook. I had to get into Instagram. I had to get in all these places because I want to reach the young people too. Especially what we're doing now. We got to be able to reach the young people as well. So you got to know your business and how to market it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have any money, it's a lot of tools out there that you can use now to still be marketing. But marketing is the lifeline of your business. If you don't do marketing, you don't really have a business.
But it is also, and I don't know if you're gonna ask this question, but it is challenging because some people don't want to be in front of their business, don't really know the details of their business, what the problem is that they're actually solving for their business, right? And so it's so many dynamics that can make you nervous in the process. Like, look, I just want to sell cats. Can I just sell cats? But how is that cat solving your client's problems, right? Like, you want to sell these cats and it's like cats for sale, but you need to convince the client why they need to buy your cat, or your cats.
Yeah, that's true. You can have all these different restaurants lined up selling chicken, right? Same chicken at all these different restaurants, but some people will patronize this place a little bit more because these people don't advertise as much, right? Like a prime example, like Arby's used to be. I used to say all the time, I don't know why Arby's is still open, right? But now they got some good food.
They have the meats.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think they got good food now. If you ain't been in a while, you need to go check it out. But I'm saying, why is Arby's still open? I've never pulled in there.
I've always wondered.
Yeah, but if you're going there now, they doing their thing. But some people, the advertising they're doing is effective for them. For me, it really wasn't. So I just kept on going past it or whatever the case is. So, but yeah, you definitely got to master that. What are you guys doing when it comes to marketing? What are you doing to make you stand out? Because none of us have a business that nobody's doing, right?
Yeah.
And you may not want to give that information out. You know what I'm saying? If you do, please share.
I'll give one of them out, Jay. Especially the ones that because we're primarily real estate, right? Sometimes we'll put $1 on there. Yeah. What's more than sending a piece of cash to let you know that I'm serious?
Yeah, currency.
Okay. And I tell her, hey, don't spend it all in one place. Come for the rest of it.
Exactly. Nobody's really willing to do that. So you go that extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
So, yeah. So
well, I can say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I could say from a therapist, it used to be referral based, right? Like, didn't really have to do a lot of marketing because it's like, oh, you need to just go see to this practice. But when I switched over to a consultant and coach, I realized that, okay, you got to put yourself out there because the problems that you're solving for individuals, they don't really realize that they're problems. And so a big part of what I had to do was invest back into my, I guess you would say, like, elevator pitch, or what is it that I do, or what problems that I'm solving. So I actually went and just hired a marketing individual to kind of help to clarify that, a couple of them for different stages of it. And that was a transition for me because I just wasn't used to that. Like, we have 30 referrals for people who want therapy, I don't have to market or go online, but now, it's like, oh, you got to go online. So we do social media, email list. I got a program coming out, Stop It Now, where we're going to launch it. So I'm doing like small workshops, just to kind of get out there, bring the awareness.
Yeah.
First, say, hey, I'm here if you need me.
Yeah. I think a great way to market your business is getting into the community too.
Yeah.
Going to some of these different, when they're having these different events for the city or in your town where all these big people are at or whatever. Like I'm a notary as well. So it'd be beneficial for me to go around people who are shaking and moving in that area because they always get stuff notarized, right? And and keep you some business cards, get you some signs that go inside your car. It's really inexpensive, but you can actually touch a lot of people by just having those signs on your car because everybody's gonna look at it. And you may spend, I think I spent like $80 for two of them. I've had for about 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So take it off, put it on the side in back of my truck, and keep it moving. Mm-hmm. So that's the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta think outside the box if you don't have the capital to really put it out there on billboards and the news or whatever, or TV or whatever the case is. Do that. But at the very least, you should be advertising on social media. That's the very least. Right?
And I do want to say that we have a changing world out here. I had a salon where I was working with a group of individuals who did hair, and they just braided hair. And I'm like, okay, what's the other things that you can market to this clientele, right? And so it's like, oh, you can sell them hair, you can sell them products. And then it was just that, like, I'm just going to sell them the products. And I'm like, well, how many other people in the world just need hair or just need lotion for their hair or whatever? So now you don't have to just focus on the people that you're working with, but you can focus on a whole demographic around the world and sell this product to them, And I think that's the great thing about marketing now. The capacity in your reach can be so much further, But community is definitely where you're rooted at.
That's true. I mean, we're all trying to get to that point to where we don't have to advertise as much. That's the sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? But even the big Willies, the McDonald's, they constantly advertising. Coca-Cola, they constantly advertising. But if you get that little sweet spot in your neighborhood or in your city or whatever the case is where people know you the go-to person, all you got to do now is continue to provide a great service. And you in there. You know what I'm saying? You really got to spend no extra money. So that's the thing. That's the thing. Any comment out of there? So Ms. K, I know you have some things you want to kind of share with us a little bit. Are you ready now, or?
I guess I just wanted to ask.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Transition, but okay, we'll go with it.
Whatever you want to do.
I just wanted to ask you, the panel, how are you guys planning for retirement, or like, are you doing anything, to save towards your retirement since you are, self-employed? You may not have like a 401k to fall back on. I just want to know that.
Mm-hmm. So I invest in stocks. I invest in real estate. And, but one of my retirement plans is to put out a course and have it just do residual income in those that money goes into some type of funding. I don't know. I'm meeting with the finance person now to talk about that. But I'm going to tell you, Miss K, I ran away from retirement because in my mind, it was like this 30, 40 years from now, I got to work for this company and like, you know, give them 20 years of my life. And so when I became an entrepreneur, it was so much about today that I was just like, okay, how do I take care of my needs today while also thinking about tomorrow, you know? And that was a difficult shift for me when I became an entrepreneur.
Well, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I was just kind of wondering, like, what do other entrepreneurs do for retirement?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me too, as far as real estate is concerned. But you know, you have Roth IRAs out there. You know, if you understand the rule of 72 with that compound interest, you get to the point to where your money is working for you. Right? So you want to work hard, make sure you pay yourself when you're running your business. Don't leave yourself out, pay yourself. When you get a pile of money, take that money and make it go work for you. That's working for your future. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is a lot of times we're dealing with us, we get that money and we want to blow it. You know what I'm saying? Or we want to pay everybody before we pay us, you know? Pay yourself first, pay everybody out, and you know you got a lot of month without having a lot of money at the end of the month, you know you got to work extra harder to get those numbers up so you can continue to generate wealth and looking towards your future as well. I think that's the key to this whole thing. You know, because we don't have a safety net. You know what I'm saying? which makes us stronger. You know, which makes us stronger. Because if a person, you know, I think Dame Dash, I try to use this illustration one day and I messed it all up. I'm gonna shoot it again, right? So he talked about two dogs, right? He said if a dog got fed every single day, and the person, the owner come out there and feed him every single day, he relying on his owner to feed him. But you get a stray dog or a dog that's used to getting his own food, he have to kill something to eat it. He looks at the other dog as food, right? As an entrepreneur, that's how we look at things out there as well. We have to kill something to drag it home, but we got to also save something for the future. You got to do that. And if you don't know how to do that, you got to get with a financial planner. You know, you got to get with somebody who knows how to do that. So that way you're not working yourself to the ground and not getting the benefits later on. Maybe working at Walmart or whatever the case. As a greeter, we don't want to get in that situation. We got out of 9 to 5, so we don't have to be in that situation.
I'm gonna ask you this, Kay. Do you believe it's possible? Do you believe it's possible?
Do I believe?
No, to Kay. Do you believe it's possible retirement
For myself or other people?
for yourself? It's a personal question. Like, do you believe it's possible retirement, your freedom?
Oh yeah.
So when?
For me personally? Oh, I don't know, maybe around 70 years old.
So you want to be able to, you want to create a vehicle where you can reverse engineer that your freedom, like how everybody was saying, like the dart. You want to be able to like create a way where you hit that target. So you got to reverse engineer from that date you want to retire. You follow me?
To be honest, not really, but
Okay.
But, you know, I was just wondering what you guys' plans were for retirement.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm asking you a personal question, like, what's your target? When are you deciding to retire? So what are you doing actively to retire, basically?
I'm working my business. I have a day job, and I'm gonna open a Roth IRA for me and my daughter.
Yeah.
When? When you gonna when?
I haven't actually set a date for that yet, but those are my plans.
Set a date and become consistent. Be aggressive with that.
Okay.
Because that's what he does. He's a financial.
So set a date first.
Okay.
And make it your duty to get your asset working for you.
Okay.
It's possible. So you just believe more into the planning of your retirement.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that.
And then I think I think what you're saying is good, Marquin.
Yes.
Okay. But I think that we have to also think, okay, what does retirement mean for me? You know, because if you're just retiring from a 401k that is going to have $200,000 in it, $250,000 in it when you turn 65, but you still have 35 years of life left, you know, is that enough money for you to quote unquote live off of, you know, the lifestyle that you want to live? And so I think that it's not just about the retirement part, but it's what does retirement look like for you? You know, what will your lifestyle look? What do you want that to look like? And then how much is it going to cost to do that? You know,
Right on.
you know, how much is it going to cost you to actually stay in retirement? Right.
Yeah, you got to know the numbers. You got to know your layers for your retirement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I struggle. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's where I struggle because I don't think about retirement, and that's bad. And I'm pretty straight up, and I'm just gonna admit it. I just
That's
don't.
honest. That's
because because all I do is I just think about work, but never. Okay, because right now I'm 49. I do want to retire eventually, but I'm thinking like I'm still going to be working like this when I'm 80, you know, because I just don't think about that. So my goal for this year is to really get with a financial planner and kind of get assistance with that, because I make the money and I think about making the money. I want to make the money and I'm saving, but I'm not thinking about anything else when it comes to that. So that's something I need to work on.
You know what she just said, that's a big part of, I would say, America for sure. It's a lot of people who think just like that, right? And, you know, and sad I was like that as well. But I look at it like you were just saying, though, you have to reverse engineer that thing. You know where you want to be, you know how much money you need to make. So what kind of assets do you need to possess in order to be able to maintain your lifestyle when you get older? Because guess what? We all getting old. Dirt, for sure, right? We all get older, right? And the hustle that you have in you right now, you won't always have that hustle in you, right? Because things happen. What can I do now? What I have, hey, what can I do now to get me to that place to where I don't have to worry about it later on? And it's sad, man, because a lot of stuff that we spend our money on a daily basis that's dripping out of our account constantly can be used towards investing. You know what I'm saying?
So can I ask a question? Because do you think that, and this is an honest question, do you think that retirement is based on a survival mindset versus, like, I think about people like, I mean, the president of the United States right now is 75 or 77 years old, right? He's still a senator or whatever, and still has aspirations to continue to work. I don't think he's thinking about like retirement in the sense of money. He's thinking about what kind of impact he wants to continue to make with the life that he has, right? And how is that going to yield him a lifestyle that he wants to live? And I think we talk about retirement and this money, or I'm going to work till I get 65 and then I'm going to retire. But really shifting the mind to think about, okay, what impact can I or purpose can I have where I'm yielding money every month, day, but I'm still living life.
Before he got to that point of being a senator, he had to actively put capital behind his dreams. So that lifestyle he had at that moment, he invested for that lifestyle. That's a part of your retirement. That lifestyle you do create.
Mm-hmm. But is he retired?
Yes. Like me personally, I'm retired. I'm doing what I love. I don't have to ever think about money again.
Mm-hmm.
That's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I agree.
So I think then that's what we define what retirement means then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing what you want to do.
Right. So yeah, because I think that when I think about retirement, I didn't think about it in that context. I literally was thinking about it, like I said, from when I worked, when I turned 65, I stopped working and I get this check every month, right? From Social Security or something like that.
What you think, Jason? How do retirement look for you?
Well, I mean, there's twofold to it, if you ask me, right? One fold is the money aspect, and I think that's where most people lean and gravitate to more. But then also there's the lifestyle part of retirement that most people want to do, but they can't because they're not focused on the money side of it. So I think it's a twofold thing. And then you've got us as entrepreneurs that sit in the middle, and we straddle both sides because we can still do the vacation part right now and we still earn the money, so we don't think about, well, hey, when is it going to get to where I'm not able to move about the way that I do right now. And that's what I think about the most. Well, when these legs give out, because they're going to eventually, you know, when these legs give out, who's going to do what I do? Okay. But that's all about also being an entrepreneur as well, is that you also have to remember, we talked about this on the last one. When is it a great time to hire? The point of what I would do on that is that, yeah, we're doing investments and we're putting the money there, but to me, that's still working, right? To me, that's still working because I'm still looking at that and I'm still managing that and I'm still working that out.
Yeah.
But the portion that brings in the revenue, then I can hire the bodies to continue to move that. The kids can then also then take that over and continue to do that so that they can actually take care of me on the back end. So it's everyone's different perspective on what they're looking at as far as the retirement portion of it. That's the way that I look at it, you know. And, you know, when Marquin was talking earlier, you know, one of the things, and I think it was Earl Nightingale that asked those two questions. I think I told you about it too, Kay, the last time we were doing the podcast, is that people are not asking themselves, how much do I really want to be worth? Okay. Or how much do you plan to be worth at age 65? If that's the age that you plan on retirement. And then the next question you should be asking yourself or asking someone else is, what are you doing now to reach that goal?
What's crazy, people never get that age correct. So like you can set like I want to retire at 50. It's never 50. It can be 45. It can be 52. So
right, but again, that's an individual deal. But we know that when we look at history, it's typically around 65, right? On average, it's around 65. That's where most believe that they should be retiring. Right. But they never and you'll talk to those individuals, which is probably who you deal with a lot right now, Marquin, is that they've already reached that age and now they're just now talking to you to develop what they should have been working on in their 30s and their 40s. Right. So they've got to ask that question. But yeah, even if I'd say, look, I'm going to retire at 65, but what does that look like to me? That still looks like work to me. You know. But if I decided that I was going to stop, will the revenue still come in? That's the question that I ask myself. Okay. Because when as building a company, that company is not there to provide jobs. That company is not there to put things back into the workforce. It's there to support the owner or the person who's in control of the business. And that's the way that I look at it. That should be indestructible and should live way after I'm gone and the inheritors of that is gone. That's what I look at.
Yeah. There's a lot of different vehicles too. Of course, it's always better to start when you're young, but unfortunately, we only wisen up when we get a little older, you know. But like life insurance, like whole life insurance, we was talking about that. It's so many things that you can use with a whole life. A whole life insurance, that you can take that money and actually use that money in order to acquire real estate or whatever the case is, right? And still be able to gain that the interest and stuff off that money, right? And so you can build something towards the future. This is what a lot of people are doing. Unfortunately, we just get it late. And then we get it to the point that we up in age. Now we thinking, man, I should have did it back then, and just say, you know what, I'm just gonna throw it all costs to the wind. Just do me, right? But it's still time. You breathing, you still got time to invest. Like a lot of people, they just save their money up, right? Put it in the bank. But now we're dealing with inflation, like something we ain't never seen before, right? So if you put $1,000 in the bank, like, you know, today when inflation hit or whatever the case is, it's worth less than that. So you're losing money. So you got to put it in something that can actually gain, that way it can double. You know what I'm saying? I think who was that? Zig Ziglar, I think it was. He said, money should be. You should look at money as people, right? That's working hard for you, right? Every dollar you send out, his job is go make another dollar or double himself and come back to you. So how do you do that? And just once you start, when you put your mind on focus on stuff like that, you'll be amazed what you come up with. You know what I'm saying? And cut your expenses. That's the best way to get a raise right now, right? Cut your expenses some kind of way. If you're not using Netflix, cut it off. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, you know. So Penny said,
but I think you bring up a good. I think you bring up a good point when you start talking about age and how we age, and we start to think about decisions that we should have made, you know, in our 20s or 30s. Yeah. And I always encourage people, don't take new information and apply it to old situations, because it'll keep you feeling guilty. But asking these type of questions, I just want to encourage our listeners that you may not be at the point where you could save $1 or make $1 work for you, but thinking about how to save $1 and making $1 work for you will get you to that point faster than not thinking about it at all, right? Because I think sometimes we just dismiss it because, I mean, I don't need to talk about retirement because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my bills. But thinking about what retirement will look like for you can actually be the momentum in the conversation that you need to actually unlock your potential and have you being able to pay your bills today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. And just introducing some concepts sometimes can make us feel a little like, oh, you ain't talking to me. But, you know, you got to write the vision and make it plain, right? Where do I want to be? And then reverse engineer that. And the most important place to do that is with our finances.
Yeah. That's
or our lifestyle. Because actually finance is we call them a means goal.
Yeah.
It's not an end goal.
Yeah. But see, some of the issues that we have is that once we working at a job, right, and you get a raise, now we think we can raise, we can get a bigger home or a nicer car, whatever the case is, and let them car company or them houses or whatever, builders or whatever, get that money. Why not take that money and up your 401k? You know, why not take that money and put that into your savings now to where it can pile up so you can use it to purchase other things. We just got to adjust the way we think. That's all it is.
Well,
think
they
about
it
before
the
you
raise
spend.
Before they got it, Jay.
That's unfortunately that's true. That's unfortunately. Yeah.
What you say, Jason?
They already spent the raise before they got it.
Yep. It was it was an expectation
already before they got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But have any of you been in a position of that? Because I think this is like a crawl before you walk mentality, right? Like you don't really understand that part until you actually get that part, right? And so many of us is crawling, trying to run. And it's like, it don't happen like that, right? And so, I mean, you call it being devil's advocate, but I feel like sometimes we speak to people from where we're at and it could be a deterrent to them because it's like, you running, Jason and Jay and Marquin, like y'all. It's like, I want to be like y'all when I grow up. Most people, right, will say that.
But it wasn't always like this, though.
But it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't always like this. It was just
I even tell my mentees that as well. It's never like that. But if I give it to you,
mm-hmm.
what are you gonna do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I can't hand anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to show you the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't hand it to you. It's not going to be given to you. Yeah. And me and Jay was kind of talking about this the other day. Look, I'm not going to chase you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's either yours to accept or reject.
Mm-hmm.
But the mindset is that they come in thinking that it's going to be handed to them.
Mm-hmm. So what happened to you? What was the shift when you started to, what was that thing that happened to you that made you say, I need to start thinking about retirement?
I didn't.
No.
And I still don't.
Mm-hmm.
I just think about building.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was saying, all I think about is building the business, because it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the owner. I just control it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the commodity. That is the stock. That is where the money actually is.
Mm-hmm.
If I am investing in my company, then it will outlive me and hopefully the next generation and the next generation after that.
Yeah. Me, that's a great question what you just said too, though. So me, it's like I'm an avid reader of the Bible, right? So it talks about that you should leave an inheritance for your grandkids. So reading that, it's like, wow, I've been hustling for somebody else rather than hustling for my last name. I got to build something for them. Something happened to me, I want them to be able to say, okay, I'm sad he gone, but Papa left me something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I can go to college and do what I want to do. So now it's like, okay, I got to switch the way I do things now.
It's funny you said that, Jay, because that's one of the questions that I ask my mentees.
Yeah.
Do you know your grandfather?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll tell me, yeah. Do you know your great-grandfather? Kinda. Do you know your great-great-grandfather? No. Why? Because he didn't leave you nothing.
That's so true. That's so true.
He didn't leave you anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you've got to determine and understand is that name, like you're saying, Jay, will live.
Yeah.
If you're handing it down, they will continue to do it.
And one more thing too. So there's something out there that people are counting on. It's called Social Security. It's not guaranteed. Most people are looking at it as if it's a safety net that is guaranteed to be there when we retire. It's not guaranteed to be there tomorrow. So if we know when it's possibility somebody's not going to have us, what are we going to do today to have our
government assistance? But they still count on it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
and I understand. I'm talking to people who gonna look at this later on. We have to think about it, man. I tell you, for a long time I never did. I got my check and it went from my hand to whoever's hand every single week. It was like I just seen it. Oh. You know what I'm saying?
So then, what switched for you then? What was the switch for you that made you say, okay, I need to start saving and planning? Or
it was basically I used to drive trucks, right? So I'm in the truck and I'm out here putting my life on the line. I'm making decent money, but I'm away from my family, whatever the case is. And I'm like, what am I doing? When I was younger, I didn't say I wanted to be a truck driver, right? I always said I wanted my own business. I wanted to be in real estate. You know what I'm saying? So, and I found myself hustling for somebody else. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. So what I'm going to do for my retirement? Okay, yeah, Social Security, it may be there. If it does, great. If it don't, I can't rely on that. Mm-hmm. So what I have to do now, I have to focus on me. This is my pile of whatever I got here. How do I make this last until I'm gone? And leave some of my grandkids, my wife. This is what I need to do. And I need to be laser focused because I didn't do it when I was younger. I got to be extra focused now. You know what I'm saying? So if you got coupons, I go take a coupon in a minute. You know, so I'm just keeping it real. I ain't never saving my game, man. So I got a mission and I'm going to accomplish the mission. Period.
Yeah, I do think, because I think it's points in our life that make that conversation more important for us. And I think that's just the kind of thing that I want our listeners to get, that it is a point in your life where you feel like it can be at 45, 25, depending on your needs, that, hey, I got to shift something. I mean, it could be a health concern. For me, that's what it was. I was diagnosed with daily chronic migraines. And I was working as a counselor, and I was taking FMLA out. And at that time I had, young kids, and I was just like, it's no way that I can sustain this, right? Working for this many hours, getting paid this amount, and live the life I want to live, something has to shift. And I still was an entrepreneur. I had houses and stuff, but I wasn't financially savvy. Like I didn't have a financial plan or anything. And it was a choice. Like either you can get on SSI and, you know, kind of, because you know you can go on long-term disability. This is a qualifying diagnosis. And I just was like, that's just not the road that I want to take. You know, no. And really coming around and thinking about, okay, what can I do? Well, I know I got this gift of being able to solve problems. How can I build something around this, you know, to help assist me today, tomorrow, and my kids.
Yeah, that's the key. And how you can get to that point. Let's say you're an entrepreneur. How you can get to that point a little faster is you leverage other people's time. When I used to think that I can, I'm a hustler, so I had multiple jobs. I was doing Lyft, Uber. I was whatever I could do. I was getting it. I was doing it. So, and I'm thinking I can work hard, trade my money for time, and prosper. To me, you can't do that. You got to get to the point to where you're not trading your money for time. You got to leverage somebody else's time to get the money or whatever the case is, but at the same time building stuff for your future. That's what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Working hard, you can make a decent lifestyle, man, but you can't get generational wealth that way. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Maybe you can. I just never seen it. So, all right, man, that was a good one there, man. Did I leave anything out? I think we got all that out of there.
Yeah, that's a pretty deep topic, and it can continue to keep going.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna keep my mouth closed.
So we did talk about the stop saving and start investing. All right. So Sheila, you got some things you want to talk to us about a little bit, right? No?
Oh, about what I do?
Yeah, you said you want to kind of talk about it a little bit. Let me pull your stuff up here. Yeah, I got so many things on here, man. This is crazy. But go ahead, you can get started. I can go ahead and find that while we're talking.
Well, I am a mindset coach and relationship therapist. But what I do is I really help lemons make lemonade in their life. That's it. And that's an acronym. So lemons are people who lack the energy, the motivation, the organizational skills, and the necessary supports to live the life that they desire. So they're lemons. And I help them make lemonade. And that's an acronym. I help them to leverage their time, learn emotional intelligence, mend their broken relationships, the broken relationship with their self and others, overcome their obstacles, negotiate life on their terms, take action towards their goals, develop healthy habits, and establish their networks. And I do that in various ways. So I can do that as a therapist and a relationship therapist and really helping individuals with the relationship that they have with themselves and the things around them. It's important for us to know that we're in relationship with everything. You're in a relationship with your car, your clothes, your house, but there's primary relationships that we have that really limit us. And that's our relationship with money and our relationship with ourselves. And that's reflected in our relationships with people and our jobs and careers. And so mending those relationships and helping people to align themselves in their truth and unlock their potential as a therapist, a coach, or a consultant, depending on the need, is really it gets me excited in the morning, right? Yeah. And so I have what's called a sale process. I have 3 companies. I do Shaping Solutions. That's where we focus on more healing, energy. It's really one of those new age type of things. We talk about manifestation, we talk about chakras. It's really new into our community as African Americans, but it's really about knowing thyself. And that is in the Bible. We need to know ourselves and know that we are more than just flesh and blood, right? We are energy fields. Our words have power. There's energy behind us. And so Shaping Solutions help to shape your life. And then I have Access, which is a clinic created for entrepreneur in self-employment success. And that's our physical building. We rent out office spaces. I consult the business and I coach the person. And so if there's a problem in your business, I'm actually advising you on how to like look at that problem different, you know, data testing. I'm bringing people in like marketers and things that I don't do. I'm recommending that you talk to other people about things that I don't, but it's a strategy behind it. And then I'm coaching you to be able to shift your mindset and take the actions that you need. And then I have a nonprofit, Leadership That Delivers. And that's what we give. We give back to our community. So we focus on women entrepreneurs. We either house them. That's the last project we did. We housed a couple of entrepreneurs, helped them align their life. But it's kind of like the same thing. It's just in a group of individuals who can't afford coaching, don't understand it, but really need the help. And so I call that like our incubator, where we work with minority women entrepreneurs to really help them in their business. But me personally, I work on the person, because your business is a reflection of you in the beginning. And so sometimes I think we don't understand that a lot of the limitations that we experience in our business is really limitations that we experience in ourselves. And it's just so easy to point the finger and say, people don't support me or this. But when we go down, there's been some traumas and some limiting beliefs that you have that is being reflected in this pursuit to create these new possibilities into the world through your services or products.
So do you find people willing to do the work?
Yeah, I think that my vision for people and their vision for themselves have to be different as a coach. So I feel like people are willing to work on what they want to work on. And a big part of the work that I do is being able to decipher, even though I feel like you got $1 million business or $100,000 business, if you only want $10,000, let's make it, you know. And then what I call doing an ascension process where, okay, we've completed that goal. What's the next one? Right. And kind of baby step them in to the growth that they ultimately want and desire for themselves.
Wow. Yeah, you got a lot going on over there.
I
You can see how kind of interweaving or inwoven to it. To
it
all
is.
of it. So I can see that.
It is definitely so the first thing I had to do was be the change I wanted to see in the world and really get congruency in my business and clarity about what I do before I could actually, I guess, like give that to somebody else, right? And really encourage that into somebody else and really invest in somebody else's growth. And so that was the first thing. So I have coaches, you know, I go to therapy. I have a coach in every aspect of my life to really help me navigate the situations that come about. And so I'm better able to handle my clients and their needs as they come up.
Yeah. Man, that's deep, man. Anybody have any questions for Shiela? You hit it out of the park. You hit it out of the park.
Pretty much. To shut that down.
Yeah. It's called drop the mic. You don't want to drop the mic moment.
Yeah, drop the mic.
So
yeah, but here's the thing, and we talk about marketing and things like that. The service that I'm in is a very intimate process, and we all have these insecurities or these doubts or these fears that keep us up at night, that make us question our worth, where we feel like we're not enough. And that is not easy to share with people, right? Yeah. And I'm not saying anybody on here feels that way. I'm just saying that has been the challenge in my marketing, right? And so that's why I came up with the acronym. Hey, I help lemons make lemonade in their life. Life is also an acronym in their love, in their interdependence, in their focus, and their energy, right? Because that's what life is about: loving, connection, where my energy is going, where my focus is going, and where I flow my energy to. And even talking to people and personally in my office or out in public, it's two different conversations, right? I feel like sometimes we have this coat on us that we feel like we have to carry. I should be doing this, and I have to be this professional, and I got to look this way, and, you know, and things have to be like this. And we just don't give ourselves permission to really talk about the insecure and the lack of confidence that we have about stepping out in front of people or public speaking or starting that podcast.
We all have those.
We all have it, you know, and until we can actually address it and talk about it in a safe space with an individual who's going to support us, I mean, it's going to continue to hold us back from really attaining the life that we desire and the life that we feel like we deserve, you know.
Yeah. So
and it's about ownership, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, with this new mindset shift that we see now, where people are talking to therapists and things of that nature, right? Did you see like people kind of rushing to you now for what you do as far as business is concerned, or is it kind of the same?
Yeah, I think that it's, you know, so a lot of talk about negative and positive energy, and like I only be around positivity, and you know, so I feel like there's even in that there is this misinformation, right? Because the reason why we have life, the reason why we're able to talk on this podcast is because of negative and a positive charge. And so life is not about being all positive, nor is it about being all negative. It's really about how you respond to life. For every action, there's an equal and an opposite reaction. We just tend to pay attention to the negative responses. And so by law, you're going to continue to yield negative responses because that's what you're paying attention to. So shifting a person to think about the positive, I mean, the like the diamond in the rough, the smallest thing that you can be grateful for today, and getting them to focus their energy on what happened good and gratitude. I think that's the shift that we're going to see coming, because it's a lot of people, if you see like these little videos on TikTok, like, oh, this healing process is so hard and it's so difficult and it's so, you know, and it's like, yeah, because we need to learn how to heal, you know, in a more strategic way.
Yeah.
And it don't have to be like a tantrum, fall out on the floor process. You know, it can actually be rewarding if you know what to look for. But I don't know if I answered your question. Your question was, am I getting more clients? Yeah, I get people to talk about therapy and stuff more. I definitely feel more accepted as a therapist at this point in time than I did 10 years ago. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, every time you do something different, man, if it, like Jason said, if it don't scare you, you ain't doing the right thing, right? So, I mean, when we first started doing this podcast, we was doing an audio podcast, me, Jason, and Miss K. That was nervous. I was nervous doing that, but I don't let nervousness stop me. You know what I'm saying? It just, look, man, what's the worst? I look at it like this. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? Jason tell me, get off this podcast. You don't know what you're talking about. K cuss me out and hang up. That was the worst thing that can happen. So I'm cool with that. Same thing with this right here too. So I have no issue with it. You know what I'm saying? And I actually look forward to when somebody get on here and start saying some negative stuff. I'm looking forward to that. That's everybody who's trying to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's county.
Mm-hmm. You're breaking up a little bit, Jay.
Can you guys hear me? Because it's kind of spinning in here for a minute there. You hear? Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. But so you guys probably hear nothing I said then, huh?
A little bit.
Okay. Okay. But it's got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, no matter what the situation is. And if you're trying something and it's for the first time, you should have a little bit of butterflies in your stomach. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with this right here. So it's a lot going on this side. I got a couple computers going. I'm watching different things happen or whatever the case is. So, and still trying to listen to you guys when you say different things so I can have something to reply to it. So it's a lot going on. But I have no problem with dropping the ball. If I say something crazy, maybe answer a question that you didn't answer, look, man, I'm just learning this thing here. Bear with me. You know what I'm saying? And sooner or later, I'm going to figure it out. And that's just how I always been.
Fell forward,
You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Fell forward.
Right. Anybody have something to add to that? All right, guys. Let's go ahead. What'd you say, Jay?
No, we're good.
All right, here go another one here. What'd I do? Did I pick the wrong one? Let's see who's gonna be honest with this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me make it bigger for you guys to really see it.
Oh,
Let's see who's gonna be honest with this one.
I'm not.
So you already know off top you're not.
Let's see.
I was a C student in college. I was my freshman, sophomore, junior year, because I was away from the parents, so I was partying. And then I quickly learned that if I wanted to graduate, I had to get myself together. So I had to go to summer school in college a couple of times. And then senior year, I graduated with a 4.0. I don't know how I did. It was me and God. And
Oh,
my
man.
mama. But I did.
Your mama.
So,
you and God and your mama.
like, you got to get out of school. Quit playing. Yeah.
What about you guys?
Oh, well. Let me tell you something. I've hated school.
Me too, man.
Since I started it. Now, I didn't know why I hated school until I got to high school. I didn't understand why. And the reason why is because I didn't get taught what I thought I should have been taught. Right? And I didn't know that until it was done and over with. So I was within that C and B area, except for certain things in high school. And then the one class, okay, because I went to a military school in between there and then went to high school. And the one class that I consistently got an A in was JROTC. And that's what led me to go ahead and join the Marine Corps. And that's why I went to the Marine Corps. And when I got out of it, I was like, well, man, I hate school. I was going to go to college. Okay. And then they pissed me off when I got back from the Marine Corps because I was going to use my GI Bill and all of that. Well, they didn't want to take me because I came back a couple of days after the semester started. So no. So, okay. So I went back active duty in the Marine Corps, and I came back and started going to college. But it was then when I got a chance to choose what I wanted to learn and get into was when I started enjoying going to class. But from elementary and middle school and high school, it sucked and I hated it. So yeah, I was within that B and C. But again, that only class that I would ever get an A in was ROTC.
Wow. Okay. What about you guys?
Well, I was an RA student. I definitely loved to learn. Yeah, they wanted to put me up a couple of times. However, when I got to about the 3rd or 4th grade, I don't know, like I just 6th or 7th grade, I always loved to learn, but I just wasn't interested in school anymore. We had a lot of issues going on in the community and things like that. So I started kind of doing hair. But then when I got back to college, my GPA is like a 3.3. Even as a doctoral student now, I just love to learn though. So it's something invigorating about that for me.
But you started doing what you wanted to do though.
Yeah.
Right? That's when learning got excited. That's when learning really gets exciting, when it's something that is appealing to you and you can immerse yourself into that. And that's what happened to me too.
Yeah.
What about you, Miss K?
I was a B student.
All the way through?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Wow. You like math though, right?
Oh yeah. I love math. I love math and science. So those are my two.
Yeah. What about you, Marquin?
I had all A's growing up.
Is that right?
So I got diagnosed with being a genius when I was a kid. So I had to, I guess, go by their standards.
Yeah.
But all A's through school.
Did you get bored?
School wasn't a challenge.
Yeah. Did you find yourself being bored? Did you find
I kept myself productive. So I did all the activities I could. So like the chess club, just different sports. I started like an investment club. So I just use it for the opportunity.
Yeah. Wow.
So I use it for my network, just to hustle, just to build me, but basically around different people who building up the community, the students and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I definitely was a C student for sure. I'm like Jason. I did not like school, man. It was not. I didn't understand why am I here, man. You know that was always my mindset. Why am I here? But
I wasted 12 years.
Yeah.
Like today, that's what I wasted 12 years.
Yeah.
And I wish I can get them back.
Yeah.
I'm still upset about that if you can't tell.
It was.
But I think you speak to.
Go ahead, Sheila.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I think you just speak to different intelligences, though, right? Like academics is just one form of intelligence, right? And I think that's why we have a lot of people who just hate school. Back to your point, Jason, when you find that thing that you really love to learn about, you're going to learn about it more and more and more. And it's just the different levels of intelligence that we have. Some people love music, some people love, art and things like that they can get engulfed in, finances, numbers, science, it's just a different thing. And when you have a structured system like academics that says this is what you need to learn and this is when you need to learn it, and that's not your forte and it doesn't speak to you as an individual, I think you're gonna get tired of it. I got boys and it's hard to get them to stay focused on like reading this book when they want to go and create this thing. And they love games, but they don't just love the game for playing the game. They like, how can we make this thing better? If we do houses around Christmas time, gingerbread houses. I mean, they'd be so detailed, right? Because that's what they love. If it's a class setting, they like, I got a 7th grader. He like, I'm tired of school. He get all A's, but it's just not interesting to him.
Well, where school came from, though, right?
Where did it come from?
It came from the church, and so that's where, right, Sunday school and the Catholic school. That's where it came from, the church. So between me, Jay, and Marquin, we got something a little bit different than our female counterparts, which is testosterone. But in church, what do they tell you to do? Sit down, be quiet, listen to the pastor or the minister, right? Well, in school, they have that same mentality, and it's been years and years and years, and it's still the same mentality. But our testosterone makes us kind of hate being sitting there and in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to be, well, it's not that we don't want to, but that controlling mechanism inside of us that no one can really explain wants us to get up, be movement, and do certain things, and we can't do it in the classroom.
Yeah, right. And so now they're giving the kids these shots and stuff, make them sit down.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever seen a lion in the jungle? They got the cubs and stuff. You see the little cubs jumping on top of the lion, the dad, and the whole nine. That's kind of how we are too. Like, I mean, when I was little, we used to get on top of the refrigerator. I don't know why, but we were on top of the refrigerator as a young man or whatever the case is. So had a lot of energy.
No, but I mean, but again, it's the testosterone. Yeah. We can't sit down as long as our female counterpart. We just can't. I'm constantly moving. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I don't know. I'm just walking over here. Like that's where you going? I'm going outside. I don't know, but I'm gonna do something.
Okay, you got to move around.
Yeah. So, but that's that's where we are, and that's what happens. And then we get shut down and shut down and shut down, and then we believe that that's really the way we're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And then as a corporate trainer, one of the things that I would do in every class, because I know we now have to be in that setting because now we're in corporate America, right? Well, I would always give everybody what's called the Vark Test to determine what their learning style is, so that I can implement that into even an adult classroom to help them learn and understand what it is that we're trying to do. And I will know, hey, if you're more kinesthetic learner, I'm going to have you go up and do things on this board. I'm going to have you participate in certain things. And I realized that, again, once I became an adult, that this is what I even had to do here because they've never had that even growing up.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty good.
Design, by design.
Yeah, it's by design.
By design. If they handicap you in your early stages, you don't have to be handicapped in your later stages.
Well, that's true. But I throw punches though, man. You know, I've been throwing punches for a long time, so I still do.
Yeah. All right, that's another good one there, man. So now, here we go. Here, y'all. Y'all ready for this one?
All
right, here we go. Leaders are readers, right? If you're a leader, you should be a reader, right? Give me a couple books that you guys recently purchased.
Well, I haven't purchased really much here lately, Jay, because I continue to still read the same ones over and over again. Wise guy, and I can't think of who actually said it, but told me that you don't find something new in the book when you read it the second time through. You find something that wasn't in you. And so I continue to read the same books over and over again. And the one that I read all the time and I carry it with me, you know, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Okay.
That's a good one.
Over and over.
That's a
this
good one.
book is read. Okay. And I keep it with me. If I go somewhere, if I'm traveling, the book goes with me. I even have it on audio and I've got it on my phone so I can read it. No matter where I'm at, I'll keep reading this book. Okay. Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And one of the things that sticks out in there all the time is the passage where he says that it'll come to me in just a minute. Yeah, it'll come to me in a minute.
Okay.
But here's that other one.
Tony Robbins. That's a good guy.
Okay.
Put him up on YouTube.
Money Master the Game.
Yep.
Okay. Money Master the Game. And this goes a lot with the things that Marquin talks about and the things that Kay talks about when it comes to finances. Because this is actually just like Think and Grow Rich. They're both interviews. And I didn't realize that until after I read them. And that's why I like this one so much. And then this one is actually an interview too, where he's interviewing some of the wealthiest people to get some of those secrets, right? Because they leave blueprints and we should follow those blueprints.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a hard time choosing, man. I had a hard time choosing these books. I mean, I really did. I had a hard time. But my guy, okay, Grant Cardone.
Oh, yeah, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone's off the chain.
Be obsessed or be average.
Yes. 10X.
Okay. Yeah, be upset. Oh, well, see, I couldn't choose, so I brought them all, almost all of them over here.
Yeah.
So I really couldn't choose.
Yeah.
So, you know, Grant Cardone is the other one. And yeah, I brought Traction too. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I do.
Yes.
And I was talking to one of my mentees right before I got on here too, and I was letting him know that, and if we deal in real estate, right?
Yep.
You know, some of the older houses, and I realized this too, is that any house that was over $300,000 always had a library in it. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you?
Leaders are readers.
Yeah. What does that tell you?
Leaders are readers, man.
You know. So.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah, the two books I'm reading is Powernomics by Dr. Clyde Anderson.
Oh man, I gotta get that one.
Hey, great book.
Yeah, I gotta get that one.
I recommend it for all y'all. And How to Eat to Live. It's a great book as well.
How to Eat to Live. Okay. But Dr. Clyde Anderson, man, he's pretty good. If you go on YouTube and pull him up, man, he be dropping dimes, man.
Right.
He be dropping
great brother. Shout out to Dr. Clyde Anderson.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So let me go. So I haven't read them yet, but I just picked up this one here, man. The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. So like I was talking about, as far as the commercial is concerned,
That's a good one.
how to raise capital and all that good stuff. So this is what I'm reading now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm deep in that thing right now, man. So I'm rolling. So the next one here is the real estate investing 36-hour course here. I'm reading this one as well.
Oh, McGraw-Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to knock them down, man. Get this information, But leaders are readers, man. That's what I've learned, man. Is that the great thing about books for me, man, or for us, man, is that sometimes a person may write a book, and it's like his whole life in this book, right? And you can read it in let's say a month. Let's say you break it down so many chapters in a month. You knock this thing out, man. You get this person's whole life story on how he came from nothing to something, right? So I say read 1 a month, 12 in a year. You'll be right. And I got it from half price bookstore, so really inexpensive.
That's where I learned real estate, Jay.
Yeah. I remember you was telling me about that.
At half price bookstore on the floor.
Yeah.
I would go in there because I didn't have no money to buy the book. I sit on the floor and read.
Yep. You got to get it in. Yep. That's the investor for you, man. You got to figure out how can I get it done without spending no money sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get it.
And then my mentor told me that if you're not earning the kind of money that you want, then it's something that you don't know.
Exactly.
Yep. In those books.
What about you, Miss Sheila? Have you read some or picked up some? You got to read it, but just picked up.
So I read a lot of research. I'm in a PhD program, so I read a lot of research. So I listen to my books. Now, the last book I listened to was Grit, and I forgot what her name was, but it's just about being gritty, passion, perseverance, and how it takes, gritty people and how that helps you to accomplish your goals. And then I read, and I had it wrote down, but it's called like how to be a phenomenal human being. And basically it just looks at like our cells and brains and stuff. But I just wrote down a couple of y'all books that I'm going to listen to.
Oh, cool. What about you, Miss K? Yeah, what book have you picked up recently?
So one of the books, and for some reason I can't find it right now because I think my daughter put it somewhere. But right now I'm reading books by enrolled agents because that's eventually my goal is to become an enrolled agent. So the book I can't find right now is how to run a tax resolution business by an enrolled agent, but unfortunately I can't find the book right now. And then the other book I'm reading is Small Business Taxes Made Easy by Eva Rosenberg. She's an enrolled agent. She's a really famous enrolled agent. She's known as the Tax Mama. And then the other book that I've been married to is the
Okay. Yeah.
So right now I'm studying for this exam, so I really only have time to read this book.
Yeah.
To be honest. But before I started studying hardcore, I was reading this one, Get Real Leadership by Harry S.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been trying to read about leadership and stuff like that, but I do want to check out that book Grit. I do want to check that one out.
Really good.
Yeah, so that's basically what I've been reading. And this book is basically it breaks down the current tax law for individual taxes, and I have another one that's for business taxes and another one for representation. So I've just been into the tax world.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm not a I guess you can say like an avid reader. Like I don't like to read a whole lot, but you can devour a book in a month's time with a couple of chapters, a day or whatever the case is. You can get it done. Like you say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you want to be in this space of a leader or run a real business, you have to read books. I think that goes hand in hand. I don't think there's no way around it. Because the knowledge you pick up for some of these books, you sit there, man, like, man, so this is how they're doing it. They're putting the game in a book. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of times, us, we try to skip the process You know, we want to go on YouTube and listen to these videos, and you can benefit from that as well. But if you want to get down into the nuts and bolts of a person or whatever the case, and you pick up that book, you'll get it. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. You definitely get it. So everybody that's out there don't like to read books, I understand it. But read you a chapter a day till you get to that point and start building up. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely can get that done.
Gotta start reading.
You gotta start getting it in. So
yep.
I think you make a great point about content. You know, I think that when you start to communicate and grow and create these new opportunities in your life, if it's a relationship or whatever, being able to read really allows you to have content to pull from, right? Like information that you have with these other people. And, you know, we hear a lot of people talk and they're like, I can't really figure it out or whatever. But the more you read, it's like you're giving your brain an inventory of words and experiences that's not your experience that you can pull from. And when you talk about decisiveness, solving problems and things like that, the more you can draw from experiences, the more confident you will feel in the decisions that you make in your life. And so reading, they say reading is fundamental. And I think that it's fundamental for that reason, because it gives you such a strong foundation contextually to be able to understand the world around you and then how to move forward, you know, in that world when you start to communicate, you know, and incorporate these ideas into your life.
It's food for your mind, right? It's like lifting weights for your mind. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? So keep your mind sharp, read you some books. It'd be very beneficial, man. And, you know, when I first got into the commercial arena, I read a couple books about it. So some key terms that you need to know for them to even think that you know what you're talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? You get in those rooms, you're able to rattle off a few of those different words, whatever the case, and they're like, oh, well, maybe he do know what he's talking about, and you get you into some of them doors. So it's important. Definitely.
So are you guys a part of a book club or anything? Jason, Jay, Marquin?
Well, matter of fact, I was gonna pose that today. Like I used to had a monthly book club where we just get on here and talk about real estate, but now I want to kind of break it up to talk about kind of a lot of stuff that we talk about here. Get some books or whatever the case is. So it's an online book club. Do like once a month, and just get on there and just, you know, knock it out. So I wanted to pose it to you guys to see if that's something you guys are interested in doing.
All right. I'm just a book nerd, so I just been building out my book library.
Say it one more time.
I'm just a book nerd, so I just been building out a library. So making sure I just build a great library for my next generation.
But I don't do a club, but if you want to pose that out there, Jay, I mean, because I think when you were having it before, it was at a time where I just couldn't participate. But I mean, you know, if it comes out again, I'm open.
Call it wine and books. You know what I'm saying? Everybody bring their glass of wine and talk about a particular book, right? And then what it does is get your mind to thinking about different things. So it could be on different types of topics. And I'm with it, man. If you guys are with it, you know.
Speaking of different types of topics, insider information. I don't know if anybody's there. I don't go to bed at night until I've learned something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back over my day, and if I didn't learn anything new that day, then I go into one of these books and find something to learn that day. Whether, like I said, it's fitness, cars, travel, collecting, retirement, whatever. I will find something to learn that day.
Yeah. Say the day you stop learning, the day you die.
That's right. You start the dying process.
Start the dying process. So, all right. Man, listen. Hey, Marquin, was there something else you wanted to kind of talk to us about? Was it another topic?
Definitely.
Talking about? Okay. So Marquin, you're gonna talk to us a little bit about some couple things here too. And I apologize, man. I thought I had put your information in this thing here, but next week we'll definitely do it. All right. Go ahead, Marquin.
Do everybody see that right there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
On the back of every dollar, what do it say?
You say it one more time, bro. My
on the back of every dollar, what do it say?
What you say?
On the back of every dollar, what do it say?
Trust?
In God we trust.
In God we trust.
I was just wondering how y'all create a living trust for the assets y'all building.
Man. Yeah.
Do y'all understand the vehicle? What is a trust?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we use trusts all the time, land trusts and other trusts.
Trust is just a great way for you just to not go through probate. So most of our wealth is stole from the government, stole through the court system. So you got to create a great trust to pass your assets to your next generation. So I just want to leave that on your minds, just the trust. In God we trust. Always create a trust for the vehicles or assets you're creating. And the government will never be able to steal your assets.
Yeah. So
how do we go about making it? How do we go about creating a trust?
There's so many different services you can use to create a trust. The most basic trust costs about $300 to create. Basically, just keep your personal business out the public eye. So, attorney base, notary base. It's basically documentation. A way to protect your assets at the end of the day.
So it's called a living trust, right?
That's what they consider it as a living trust while you're alive.
Yeah. So, like, say if you buy some real estate and you put that real estate into a living trust, if something happens to you, you just assign that with that living trust to your kids, or whatever the case is. They don't have to pay taxes right then and there on the property.
Correct? You won't have to go through probate. Government. You won't have to pay excess fees just to get the
inheritance
property.
Inheritance fees, and things like that. Why? Because they're the beneficiary of the trust.
Yes,
is what.
Correct.
If you got any kind of assets, you should have that. Any kind of assets.
And once you get income producing assets, you want to be able to put them in trust.
Yeah.
For the government will be able to never steal it from you, or you won't be able to lose your asset that you're trying to pass down to your next heir.
Yeah. And it's so sad, man. You get like a lot of these famous singers and stuff like that. They have all these different assets, and
everybody losing their wealth because they didn't have a trust.
Didn't have a trust, right?
That's just one key piece to financial planning. That's one key piece.
Yes, one key piece.
Even bank accounts can get froze through probate. So if you got a lot of money tied up in a bank account and you die, your family won't be able to get your funds without going through court.
Yeah. Yep.
So it leads to big problems, and you want to have solutions for the biggest problem, and that's death.
And it can be tied up for years. It can be tied up for years. So
and you don't got a year to solve your death problems.
Yeah. How quickly can a person set up a living trust?
Today. Right now.
Immediately. Immediately.
If you're building something of value and you know your asset is going to produce wealth tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that what you do, Marquin?
It's a service. It's a part of it's a solution to help.
So you do that within your establishment then?
Right.
Okay.
Education, and I basically come up with it.
Okay. I got a question for you. What do you know about spendthrift? A spendthrift trust.
What do I know
about a spendthrift trust?
Not much.
Not much. Okay. I'll give you that as homework.
Okay.
I never heard that before. You said a spendthrift trust. Okay, that's a different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to write that down, bro. That's my homework too.
Spendthrift trust.
I'm not an expert at trust, but I do know how to put your money into a trust.
What you'll find out though when you look that up, Marquin, is that it's no different than what you're already talking about. It's just a few different words, and you'll see how more powerful it is with those words in it the same way.
Right. So we got revocable trust, irrevocable trust. There's so many different trusts you can put your wealth in. So make sure it's subjective. So make sure you putting your assets through the right process.
And understand too, this is legal. This is not illegal to do this, right? And this is some of the vehicles that the wealthy people use in order to get their wealth
Keep
to the
their
next
business out
generation,
the
right?
Most of wealthy people, their business is out the personal eye because of a trust.
Yeah.
So most rich kids, you will never know the amount of money they have because it's in a trust.
So
it's not public. It's not public information. So
yeah. So if you had $200,000 and you was to give that to your son or your daughter, they can get hit with taxes, big huge taxes for that, right? But if you had it in a trust or whether you pass or whatever the case is, you can actually leave that open and you don't get hit with them taxes. Nobody knows. A lot of people don't know that. There's different things that you can do, man. And so we're talking about generational wealth and how you can do that. This is some of the tools, vehicles you can use to get to that next level. And it's really, like you said, you can do it today, really inexpensive. So just like you need to trust, you need, life insurance and all that stuff. You need to trust, you need all that stuff.
And you want to have a goal for your trust to put as many assets in your trust as possible. So that's the goal for your trust, to put as many assets as possible.
Yeah. And what is an asset?
The business you creating.
Mm-hmm.
It can be stock. It can be any income producing vehicle that you investing into. So real estate. It can be. It can be businesses. So income producing assets, basically.
So the opposite. So
I could put my house in there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The house would be considered.
Because that's not income producing. Is my house income producing?
You got, of course,
you got
equity in it, right?
You pay a mortgage.
I was just, I like we talking to each other, but a lot of people don't know these words, right? We're just saying like asset, like you put your assets in it, but what is an asset?
For the bank it does. For the bank it does.
Does my house bring me? Does my house bring me money?
They bring the bank money. So it's an income producing vehicle. It's just on the opposite side.
No, first of all, do you own a free and clear?
Yes.
So yes, it definitely is an asset.
Right.
Definitely is an asset.
Mm-hmm.
Do you got a home office?
I did ask the question I asked the question from an audience perspective because I know we talk about assets and things like that, but what is that? You know what I mean? What is an asset? Can I put my car in there? Can I put?
So your home is your biggest asset that you own. So if you die, you do not want to lose the home, your biggest asset. You want to be able to pass it to somebody who will do something with that asset, either make it a rental or do something with that capital. So it's just a way to make sure you do not lose your biggest assets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
man.
So most people, majority of Black American, the biggest asset is their home, is their property, their own real estate. So you would have to put it in a trust. You would have to put it in a trust just for protection.
Yeah. And
my personal opinion.
Okay. Let me say this too. I got to make sure I put the disclaimer out there though. Small business stand up. Don't recommend you do none of these different things. You need to contact your CPA, your attorney, all that good stuff. So now go ahead, bro.
Right.
So I just got to put that out there. So, but yeah, I mean, we definitely have.
So these are just my personal information, my personal opinions. 90% of homeowners do not have a trust. More than 50% of homeowners lose their home. So you got to create vehicles to protect that asset.
Yeah, but this is some of the things that we talked about. I think probably the first show. some things that people know that we don't know, that it's handed down to them, right? Or to other people, whatever the case is, that we don't know. The trust, living trust, vital, man. If you're gonna build wealth or any kind of wealth, you need to have that. It's essential. And you said what the price for something like that to set that up?
Just for a basic trust is $300.
So is that something you got to continue to pay on, or is it one time you pay and you don't have to pay?
It depends on the platform, the person you go to, but majority of the time it's $300 or one time fee.
One time fee, $300. Okay.
And then the spendthrift trust is similar to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. I go get a trust for my house and I have a business. Can you put every tax kind of business, like if it's an S Corp, a C Corp, a LLC, all of those different ones can go into a trust?
Yes.
And can they go into the same trust, or can I own 2 different or 3 different trusts? Or am I, as an individual, I only get one trust?
You can have multiple trusts at the end of the day.
But you can put multiple assets in a trust too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And what about my insurance policy? Can I put that in a trust?
Life insurance is off limits.
Okay.
It's already a vehicle for protection.
Okay.
And most brokerage accounts. So not tax advantage accounts that you invest with, but brokerage accounts are off limits.
And the brokerage account, that's like your Roth IRAs and stuff like that? Or
It's like Robinhood.
Okay.
So just individual stocks and a regular brokerage account. An IRA is like a retirement account, so it's like tax advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be able to go in a trust.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that information, Marquin.
No, thank Jay. He put it on my mind.
No, bro, you the man, bro. I already knew what you was gonna do with it. You took the ball and ran with that bad boy, bro. Salute.
But like on every dollar, it say "In God We Trust." So you got to imagine yourself as the vehicle for every dollar that you trust in, and you want to have that type of vehicle as well, and it's a trust.
I like that dollar pitch, man.
Yeah,
You make me want to go over there and get this other dollar that I'm looking at over here that I use for my other, and make you turn yours around and I'll turn mine, and I'll show you the difference. Because what you're really talking about is you're talking about paper and protection in reference to paper. But if you turn your dollar around, it says a note. It's a promise.
Yep.
Right? So same thing with your trust is we're looking to say what? We promise it's going to be worth this. Just like the government put on your dollar.
Yeah.
Right? But if I go over there and get this other one, it's not going to say a note on the front of it.
What you got over there, Jay?
Oh, no, man.
Say? What yours going to say?
Hold on.
Yeah, you got to learn how to rub shoulders with the government.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's building big businesses.
See, the government, I mean, the United States is a big business. It's basically what it is. The people who have the business mindset will prosper in this environment. It's the ones that don't have that business mindset, who don't have it's designed for people who have an LLC to be able to thrive, really. There's a lot of vehicles, things you can write off, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with that LLC that people are not even thinking about. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at the world as a business, you will prosper. But if you're in there just trying to be spending money here and there, being a consumer, you're going to lose every single time. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's real.
Most individuals that accumulated wealth in the Black community done lost all their wealth because of no trust. So understand that. They lost all their wealth, didn't pass nothing. They passed it to the government.
Mm-hmm. So what I hear you saying is that if I had money and I passed, right, in a bank account, right, and I have $200,000 in there and I don't have a will,
You can have a will.
Because if I have a will, so if I had a will that says this money goes to Kaylin, Khalil, and Nick, then it'll get
will
will
still
to
put
them?
it through probate. We'll
Okay.
still put it through the court system.
Mm-hmm.
A trust handled it without the court system.
Mm-hmm. So then if I say I want to put this 200,000 in a trust, then when I pass, my kids never have to go to court to prove that I'm their mom or that whatever that is. So no court fees will have to come out of that. And then that money doesn't get taxed because it's being transferred through the system. So now my kids are being taxed this whatever percentage on this money. So they get to get the whole $200,000 versus a part of it or none of it.
Right. So wholesalers, a big part of their job is finding people in them type of situations.
Big part. yeah. But you're right. You're definitely right, man. So, wow. We could do a show on this topic right
here. I mean, I'm appreciative of the information. I think that asking questions gives clarity and makes people understand. Like, we can hear this all day. You need a trust, you need a will, you need insurance, but why? How much is it?
Have you ever lost a property? Have you ever lost a business? Have you ever lost a property? Yes.
Yeah, I lost the property and I lost businesses.
Have you ever lost assets? Have you ever lost? Have you ever seen your money go down the drain?
I never physically saw it go down the drain, but I have made poor investments. If that's what.
That's basically all I'm saying.
Yeah. So if I would have had my house in a trust, then they couldn't have took my house from me.
Say that again.
So you said, have I ever lost a house, right?
Through the court system. Let me.
Oh no, I've never lost a house. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, have you ever had a parent lose a house that passed? That's a better question for you.
Well, my grandfather had a home that, but it was going to my grandmother. But we had to go, like all the kids had to sign off on it. I ended up getting it, but.
So, like most problems in the Black community is from our elders with property, and they don't properly have the plan in motion to get an access to the kids. Yeah, it creates big problems, and everybody fighting over a piece of property that they didn't even invest into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
it just solve problems at the end of the day.
So, I mean, easily to really understand what he's talking about, there's a couple things we can do, right? We can contact this gentleman right here with the game, send your number over, or get you a couple books and kind of read on it.
Right, you can just go online and just ask Google how to help you set up your trust, and it will teach you the game about setting up a trust.
You can do that too. You can do that.
It'll teach you everything you need to understand about a trust. Yeah, and you will never be like mismanaged when it comes down to building your trust.
So, Kate, I got a question for you. Man, look, hey, this was mind blowing, man. This information right here. I learned some stuff off of this too. But I got a question for Ms. K. So, what are some as an entrepreneur, what are some things that we can write off that we don't know about?
It really depends on what type of business you own. Any tax deductions have to be ordinary and necessary depending on what type of business that you have.
Okay. Is one what I'm trying to say. So I mean, is it what I'm trying to say here? So LLC, right? It definitely protects you from a lot of different things or whatever. What kind of I've lost my thought here. For tax purposes, right? What is the best vehicle or the best thing to get on, put your business under for tax purposes, right? LLC or whatever. What's the best one to use for tax?
Yeah, so a LLC is really a disregarded entity, so it really doesn't have any tax benefits. It benefits you in regards to like legal claims. If someone were to pursue a claim against your company, it would separate the claim between you as an individual and you as a company. But it really depends on like your company's finances as to which designation is best for you. So a lot of times, like on TikTok or Facebook, you hear a lot of people pushing S corps, become an S corp, become an S corp.
That's what I was trying to say. I couldn't get it out. But go ahead. I was trying to say that, but I couldn't get it out.
Yeah, but if your company doesn't make enough for you to make a reasonable salary, because you have to be on payroll, it would be counterproductive for you to do that. Because to run payroll, you have to pay yourself and you have to pay payroll taxes. And the IRS takes, they're called 941 taxes very seriously. So if you don't pay your payroll taxes, you could possibly go to prison for that. So a lot of people, they go on Google and they see S Corp, they fill out the form, but they don't really know exactly what they're doing when they do that. So that's why I say it really just depends on your business as to which tax designation you need to have. I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry, it's kind of vague, but you know, every business is different, you know.
Is that something the person can contact you on?
Yeah.
You can kind of help them to see what's the best thing for them?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So is that with the S Corp and the C Corp? What's the difference in those two?
S Corp is generally for businesses that make around 35,000 net profit. C Corporation is where basically your net profit is in the millions. And it really depends on the C Corps have shareholders. They give stocks to their employees sometimes as compensation for working. So you can also do that with the S Corp as well, but that's not generally what S Corps do. It's more of a C Corporation. So in my view, a C Corporation is something like an Apple, a Pepsi, a Coca-Cola type level of business, right? Yeah. To me, a S Corporation could be a really successful like restaurant chain that's in your area, or even like a mid-size small business. And you also get more tax benefits as well when you own an S Corp. So when you own an S Corp, is traditionally the income, because when you're an LLC, you get taxed twice, once on your net income and then once on self-employment taxes, right? Once you move over to S Corp, you're no longer responsible for self-employment taxes because you're putting yourself on payroll and you're paying your taxes that way. And then your company is paying the other half on the taxes. And then once you become a C Corporation, you're pretty much doing the same. Like you're an employee now. When you're an S Corporation, you can really choose if you just want to be a 1099 or a W-2. It's totally up to you. So I feel like the S Corp is more flexible and the C Corp is more literally corporate. Like,
so you recommend entrepreneurs who starting off to get a DBA?
Doing business as name?
Yes. Entrepreneurs who just starting, would you recommend a DBA?
A DBA is just saying I'm doing business as something else. So, for instance,
what would you recommend them? What would you recommend?
It would depend if that company wants to go by another name. They can get a DBA, but a DBA is just saying you're working as another company. That's all. There's no tax benefits to it. Nothing like that.
So if you want no tax benefits, don't get a DBA.
Yeah, DBA has nothing to do with taxes.
Thank you.
Can you put multiple business in one LLC?
I would recommend that you don't. The reason why is because when you're trying to deduct things from your business to lower your net income, it has to be ordinary and necessary. So for me, I have a tax business. So all of my deductions should be in line with other tax professionals. So if I try to say that I drive Uber and I try to put 10,000 miles as a deduction, the IRS is going to look at that and say, well, other tax professionals don't drive 10,000 miles. So why do you? So it'll start causing some questions to be asked. So I would not recommend that. I would recommend that you split them.
Yeah.
So what about the tax benefits? So what about the tax benefits of a trust? Or do you understand that?
Nope, not yet. I'm still on individuals.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Hey, that's game. That's game there, guys. That's game. So if they need tax information, they can come to you, right, Kay?
Yes.
Need tax help, they can come to you. So let me say this to you guys. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but me and Kay just spoke today. This is our last day on the show. We're gonna miss her game, her knowledge, experience.
Hey, where you going?
That's tough. That's what I said to her. Where you think you're going?
Where you going?
But I'm leaving.
Okay, you got a lot going on. Yeah,
but it's been great speaking with all you guys.
Absolutely. You got to come back and do a cameo or something. You got to definitely do that. So, but wow. But still, if you guys have tax questions, you guys want to get something done when it comes to that, definitely give Kay a call. That's her, her act right there. Definitely hit her up, man. She's very knowledgeable. She knows exactly what she's talking about. All right. So, Ms. Mitchell, it's your turn now. Let's get on her, guys. Y'all ready?
Oh Lord, y'all gotta leave me alone.
All right, what's the question? So I know you have a lot of different businesses you got going on. So what are you doing to get to that next level?
Praying.
Well, I'm doing the same thing.
Well,
yeah.
I'm focusing right now on my medical scrub business. That's my new passion, my new baby. Yeah. So trying to launch that by June the 1st. So right now I'm just getting, the store together, getting some marketing materials out. I'm actually going to be a vendor this Friday at the Black Food Truck Friday, which is a big event that happens in Charlotte every other Friday. And about 1,000 or 2,000 people come, and they're all Black vendors. And it's mostly they're, selling their products, food, clothing, whatever it is. So I'm excited about that. This is going to be my first time doing it. I'm a little nervous too, because I'm like, please buy my scrubs and accessories. But what's more important to me is not that for the first time that they're buying the material, the product, but that I'm getting the word out there and I'm getting my name out there as an African-American scrub vendor. So I'm definitely very excited about that.
Yeah. So how long have you been in business now?
For myself, probably about going on 3 years. Prior to that, I was in the mental health field for about 20 years in management. And after that, I was like, it's time to do my own thing. I can't do mental health anymore. I needed to take a break and, and focus on starting my own businesses. And I started just with the notary, and then just started with the property preservation, and then started doing real estate. And after that, I just love it, and I've just been going ever since.
Yeah. Any learning curves as an entrepreneur?
I've had a lot of setbacks. That's for sure. Yeah. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself. Like I know we spoke before when I say I don't sleep. So I've made a lot of mistakes because I'm rushing and I want things to happen like I want it to happen, but I have to also learn how to slow down. I've also made a lot of mistakes when it comes to money because I'm just not, I'm spending sometimes more than I'm getting in because I just want things to look right, to be right. I'm just anal on how I want things to go. And so sometimes I tend to put out more than I'm getting in. So I'm working on that as well, learning how to manage my money when it comes to business.
Yeah. Are you at the point to where you're hiring people or still doing it on your own right now?
See, that's the problem right there.
Okay.
Yes, I can hire people, but I have a problem letting go.
Oh, you got to be good at delegating.
That's
the next level.
I have a serious issue with delegating. I want to do it all myself because then I know if I'm doing it, it's getting done right. Like for instance, I have this developer developing the website, the store, the Shopify store for the scrub business. I'm all up in it. Like I'm over there changing stuff, and he's like, "Well, what did you hire me for?" You know, so I have to, and I don't even know it like he does, but I'm just trying to research and do it on my own because he's not going as fast as I want him to go. So that's my problem. I definitely, but I realized recently that I have to hire some help. I have to, or else I'm just gonna have a breakdown.
Yeah. That stunts your growth.
It does. It does.
You definitely gotta, just kind of set it up to where, look, this is what I need to be done. This is what I expect from you. Can you meet this expectation?
Yeah.
If they can't, get them out of there. So you be quick. We say quick to fire and slow to hire, right? You get somebody in, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, get them out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's important. That's important. But as long as you know what they should be doing, maybe work along with them for a little bit, show them the pace they should be at, and you got to step back. Yeah, let them do their job. They're not gonna do it as like you would do it. To be honest with you, because this is your business. You got love you put into this business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it's worth it to get to that next level. You gotta have somebody to rock.
You're right. You're right. I can call myself out on my own stuff. I know I need to definitely.
and I'm talking to myself because I had to learn that too. That too, man. So you can't do it on our own, man. So. But listen, man, this has been a great one, man. I don't have no hot topics. I was so engaged in this, I couldn't even think of no hot topics. Do you guys have anything? Any hot topics? No? Nah, man. So listen, man, you guys are rock stars in business. Continue to affect the world with your dreams, your hard work, your kindness, man. Give to people, man. It comes back.
Amen.
It comes back. Hey, man, I salute you guys, man. All right. So,
I did. Wait, can I add this though?
Yes,
one of the things I didn't say is my focus is procrastinators. So I work with individials who procrastinate their lives, and I
got some people for you. I got some people for you. I'm just the opposite. I don't work with people who are procrastinators.
Yeah, that is what my PhD is in. I look at the relationship between emotional intelligence and procrastination, and really teach people emotional intelligence and help them see their procrastination as an emotional issue and not a time management issue.
Wow. That's deep.
That's deep.
That's deep. I've never heard that before, man. That's the first time I actually heard that. Usually we get away from people like that, but I thought it was broken and can't be fixed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, man, that stuff rubs off on people. I don't want it around me. So
most of the time people are triggered. That's why they procrastinate. They're triggered. Their insecurities are triggered. Their perfectionism is triggered. Their worth is triggered. Their enoughness is triggered. And so they will delay what they need to do because of the chatter that's happening in their minds. And so teaching them like emotional intelligence and helping them to unpack those limiting beliefs around the activity that they need to do will help them to perform in a more efficient way or lessen the noise in the head. So that is my focus.
I guess I'm the total opposite when it comes to procrastination, man. It's like, I don't know how to do this software. We just gonna get started and I'll figure it out as we go. That's just how I operate. So for a person to have the opposite mind is telling me, hold up, let me read this book. Hold up, man. Let me make sure I'm dressed. Whatever the case is, it's like, I don't understand that. So now that I know when I'm dealing with a person who's procrastinating, I'm gonna send them to you.
Mm-hmm. I have a stop it now. I have a stop it now program.
Okay. How long it take you to fix them?
Huh?
How long it take for you to fix them?
Oh, we have it's like a 10-week process, but I can fix you in a month. I'll fix you in 2 hours. to make you aware of why you're procrastinating, and then the process to overcome it is about like 6 to 8 weeks. But I have a stop it now framework to help individuals work through that process of procrastination and self-sabotage.
Procrastination.
Absolutely. So
and self-sabotaging, because procrastination can be a form of self-sabotaging too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So hey, a lot of good information, man. Did we cover everything, guys? Anything you guys want to add?
No.
And if anybody want to work with me as far as getting the book thing together, let's get it together. We'll kick it off maybe next month. You know, I'm about let's get it going, right? So I just want to tell you guys, man, I appreciate you guys. Let's go make it happen. Let's go destroy the rest of this week.
No doubt.
You know, so have something to talk about come Tuesday. All right, salute everybody on this panel, man. And Kay, we're gonna miss you, Kay. Don't be a stranger, man. All right, you guys have a good one, man. Small business stand up, guys. Go win.
Everybody take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.